Hey, what up, YouTube? Man, so we said 2020 was a crazy year. Came in with Trump impeachment, left with Twisted Tea. And we said we're going to put that shit behind us. That was just too crazy. And we thought the aliens were going to come at the end. Man, we had Rona. We had impeachment. We had a retarded cop in Minnesota kill a guy. And that ended up causing the fucking revolution. So naturally, 2021 said, "Hold my beer," and we just had Man Bear Peg take over the Capitol Hill, with his band of minions. Naturally, a lot of people got a lot of things to say about that, and I'm going to add to that my fucking opinion on what has been going on in this world that has got us to this crazy point. Now, granted, everybody's got a fucking opinion out there, right? I make no claims to be an expert. I'm going to give you my background. I'm just a guy. A North Idaho fucking hayseed. But I was born in Connecticut. My biological parents split when I was 4. My mom, now a single mother, took me on a Greyhound bus all the way out to Colorado, where we met my stepdad. Now, we grew up, they did the best they could, but we were very, very poor. We were homeless 3 separate times when I was growing up. Lived in a Chevy Blazer, lived in a van, lived in multiple homeless shelters, got by on Christian charity, food stamps, and a wing and a prayer. I was homeschooled growing up. Now, you might think this would make me very, very sheltered and not really savvy and street smart. You would be right to an extent, but not completely. I mean, I did grow up, like I said, homeless around a lot of. I'm the oldest of 6, so I had to grow up really early and help take care of my siblings and help do a lot of the chores around the house. Such as gardening. This is when we got into a place later on that was such as gardening. I had to cut a lot of wood to keep the furnace going. Those are the 2 big ones: gardening, keeping the furnace going, and then just the other chores and stuff, and helping take care of 6 siblings in a fucking family where mom homeschooled us all, right? So, what's my educational background? Do I have a fancy degree from Harvard? No, I don't have a fancy degree from Harvard. Do I have a degree from a state university? No, I don't have a degree from a state university. In fact, the university I have a degree from is Life in the United States Army. See, when I was 17, see, when I was growing up, I wasn't completely sheltered, right? I did track, and I did cross country with the local high school. Did Bible study at a couple of the local churches, and I did Boy Scouts. I was a Boy Scout. Here we go, my messy ass hair. Woo! And me and my best friend Robert, we decided to join the military together. He went to the Marine Corps, and I went into the Army Infantry. I did this to get out of my shitty little hometown of Bonners Ferry. I love you, Bonners Ferry, but you're a shitty little hometown. I'm sorry. A lot of people try and get out of there via the military. So I joined as an 11 Bravo infantry. I was supposed to go in June of 2011, but I cut the bottom of my foot on a rock walking barefoot. I don't even know if I can say the N word here on YouTube. The German scientist Camp Dr. Lady at MEPS, the Military Entrance Processing Station, saw this cut on the bottom of my foot, and man, she flipped the absolute fuck out. And she said I couldn't go. She said I had to wait another week for this to heal. I said, okay, fair enough. I gotta wait another week. All right, fine, whatever. I don't go to boot camp with a cut on the bottom of my foot. No, that wasn't good enough. Now they told me I couldn't be an infantryman anymore. Now, I wasn't trying to be a hero. Okay, that's an important part. I was not trying to be a hero. I was Saving Private Ryan was my favorite movie. Still to this day is my favorite movie in the world, followed by Black Hawk Down, We Were Soldiers. See, I read books like D-Day by Stephen Ambrose, and then I study the Roman legions and the Spartans. I love history. History is my shit. See, being homeschooled, right? You could kind of, I kind of educated myself, right? Now, my mom had a lot of old books, like a lot of old encyclopedias from like the 70s and 80s and the 50s. Ooh. And a lot of old books, like, landmark books and biographies of all kinds of great Americans and great scientists and great figures in history. And by the time I was 11 and we were settled up here in Bonners Ferry and we lived down in the town and it was close enough to walk to the library, I would go to the library. I would sit in the adult section, the history section for hours, like literally fucking every day. And I would hop on the internet and I would cross-reference. I gotta read about this shit, like all types of history stuff. And then I would cross-reference it on the internet at the time. At the time, my parents were not that hip to the internet, so I was able to get away with a lot on there and the library computers, but I digress. So I grew up with history, and I loved the stories of the wars. And my thing was, we had a war going on. We still had soldiers fighting, and that's who ended up in the history books that I liked. So I wanted to go infantry. So this fucking bitch at MEPS, she says I can't be an infantryman because there's no slots open in the next week, and my time in the delayed entry program is ending in a week. So I'm like, shit. Okay, so what do I got to do? I got to get out of the Army. I got to get discharged. And I have to go through the whole process getting back in again. So I cut the long story short. I show up 7 months later in February 2012. Me, being a mischievous young lad of 18, thought it would be quite amusing to show up at 30th AG sporting a mighty afro. Now this brought me great amusement all the way up until a mighty man sporting a mighty round and brown hat stepped up onto the bus, looked me dead in the eyes, and says, "Holy shit, Q-Tip, you look like a 1970s porn star's pube hairs." And that, my friends, is where the U.S. Army's fuck games begin with me. I'll tell you what. But, so, first I went to the Baker Company, 1st of the 506, 101st Airborne out of Fort Campbell, Kentucky. And man, one of the things I'm most proud of in my entire fucking life is that I'm a goddamn Screaming Eagle, all right? Don't let anyone tell you different. That is the best goddamn unit in the United States Army. And with them in 2013, when I was 19 years old, I went to Afghanistan. I experienced combat for the first time. I got my combat infantryman's badge 2 days after my 20th birthday. I was in Afghanistan. Saw a lot of shit. My biological father, who I had just reconnected with for the first time since I was 4 years old, he showed up at my basic training graduation. Talking about reconnecting and everything, right? And so I'm figuring when I get back from Afghanistan, we can reconnect, right? Oh, so he was from Dominican Republic. So I'm first generation American on my biological father's side. And on my mother's side, we go all the way back to the Mayflower. So I'm all types of fucking mixed up in this, right? So he commits suicide when I'm in Afghanistan. And then I come home, and due to the financial, the recession, the long-term impacts of the recession, my family had lost the house that I grew up in. And I came home to Christmas in someone else's basement back from Afghanistan. Naturally, this kind of put me into a depression. Started drinking really heavy. 9 months later, I decided, snap out of it, right? Keep going, right? what happened was we went down to Fort Polk, and it was just shitty. It was in August. Fort Polk, Louisiana. Never got down below 100 degrees during the daytime, right? We're getting like 4 hours of sleep. And our whole fucking, we had our 4th Brigade, which was what I was part of, had just disbanded, but our battalion stayed together and joined 1st Brigade. They went down, but they didn't have room for us. So we ended up sleeping in foxholes in the middle of fucking Fort Polk. And it was just shitty. And I was an RTO. I was a radio telephone guy. I was carrying like 4 or 5 different radios on me. And my lieutenant was a fucking maniac. Triathlete. And I had to keep up with him everywhere he was running. I dropped of heat exhaustion twice there in fucking Fort Polk. Got the silver bullet, the thermometer up my butt. Got some IV stuck in me. And I came back. My first day back. First morning back. I couldn't believe it. We got back that night. And they're like, all right, we'll see you tomorrow morning at 05:30 for PT, goddammit. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. So we're going for a run. And I'm in the back falling out like, Jesus Christ, why are we doing this? We just got back from Fort Polk. I'm drunk. This sucks. We're doing a 5-mile run? So we turn around, and me being in the back, now I'm in the front, right? And I'm running, and this old dude runs by me. I'm a former cross-country runner. I ran track and cross-country in high school. I'm a distance runner. So, oh, hell no. This old man ain't gonna fucking pass me. So I take off sprinting after him. We race all the way down to the company, which is about 2.5 miles away. He stops and he shakes my hand, and I realize I was just running with the 101st Division Commander. Oh, shit. So he shows up the next day and presents me with the 101st Airborne coin. Tells me how hua I am. Called me a proud American. I go in for a salute. And this motherfucker pulls me in for a big ol' hug. Hey! This is the proud American who beat me in the race yesterday. Ah! He gave me a 101st Division coin. It was great. And I was filled with a burst of hua. And so I went and re-enlisted for 3 more fucking years to Vilseck, Germany, the 2nd Criminal Regiment. the 2nd Cavalry Regiment, Apache Troop. We came to fight. And it was there that I became a sergeant. I learned leadership. And I learned all types of stuff about myself over there in Germany. But I guess my point is, I'm a mixed race, homeless kid who is a first-generation American, who also happens to be a hayseed from fucking North Idaho hick. And I'm an Army veteran who managed to come from homelessness to being able to travel all over the world. And I spent time in Alexander the Great's castle in Afghanistan. I've been all over Europe. Traveled the globe, been to, I think at last count, 14 countries. I have to recount that. I think 14 countries. Lived all over, and I've never stopped learning my love of history. I always study history. It's my hobby, right? Anywho, as I'm approaching the end of my time in the Army, this is 2018, right? Thinking about moving to Los Angeles. See, I wanted to live by the beach at least once in my life. And I was a huge fan of the show The West Wing. President Martin Sheen, Rob Lowe, Brad Whitford, and a couple other jerks, right? Now, The West Wing is very much into liberal politics, but Aaron Sorkin is an amazing fucking writer. And he can make his arguments very eloquently, and he can tie them into the American story. It sucks you in. I was a sucker. So I went out to California to get into politics, and I got involved with the Democratic Party's Veterans Caucus. Whew. That learned me real quick about the Democratic Party and about politics in general. In fact, fuck the Democratic Party. About both parties, right? Man, they are all fucking nuts. From local, state, federal, they're all fucking psycho. There's good people there too. But they're all crazy. Anyhow. So Man, I'm tired as fuck. I look like shit in this. Y'all probably think I'm crazy too. Anyhow, I was out there in LA and I had just gotten out of the army and things weren't going so great with the political thing, and I was living out there by myself, starting to feel down about life. And I ended up being very suicidal at one point. Almost killed myself in Christmas of 2018, and I just decided I wasn't going to fucking go out that way. My biological father had killed himself. I wasn't going to fucking do that. No, fuck that. I'm a goddamn infantryman. I didn't take anything. 3 weeks later, I ended up homeless on the streets of LA, and I tried to work my way off. I'll say two things. I have never begged. I have never stolen. I ate by working for people, doing odd jobs and shit like that. After 3 weeks on the streets, I couldn't take it anymore, so I went to the VA. And they sent me to the Ballington, which is a program for homeless veterans in Los Angeles' Skid Row. Right there on 6th, between 6th and 7th and Wall. Man, you can look that shit up. You can go down there. It is the heart of Tent City, Skid Row. And I was down there for, fuck, year and a half. I went to community college at the time. Got into Santa Monica College. And holy shit, like, I grew up in North Idaho, but I was, at the time, part of the Democratic Party, so I got the arguments from both sides, right? Man, these professors were straight preaching the Democratic Party platform, like the most liberal, like these were fucking activists. It was like I was talking to I was getting taught by the goddamn fucking hosts of Pod Save America. Even my fucking English teacher, you would think English, right? No, we didn't learn about English in English class. We learned about climate change in English class. So this drove me fucking nuts. So I realized that the school system is, yes, a complete center for brainwashing and indoctrination. How do I know this? Well, because I study history and I can read and I study philosophy, and I know the fucking arguments from both sides about many issues. And you can't just preach fucking Democratic Party talking points as if it's goddamn fact, alright? I work with these people. I know these are their fucking attack points. Why are you preaching that in a fucking classroom, professor? Especially in English classroom, right? Okay. So I said enough of that bullshit. I'm out. Got to work at a weed shop in Venice Beach. Rose Collector, shout out. Hey, Rose! Man, I had a great year working there. That was a fucking amazing year. But I was still in this program, right? And they have me in there with fucking ex-convicts. They have me in there with fucking pedophiles. They have me in there with fucking all types of people. But they also have me in there with fucking this kid, 21-year-old kid named AJ. Really brilliant, really bright. Just got a bad break in life. Grew up in South Central LA, single father, very disadvantaged. Hell, he could have made it, but, you know, the system failed him. The LA school system failed him, and a lot of systems failed him. You got Kenyon, who's brilliant. He's working hard. He reads, like, fucking 8 hours a day. He's brilliant. You have a lot of brilliant people down there just got bad breaks in life. I mean, we're all veterans. We all fought for this fucking country, right? Fucking Alvin just happened to get shot 8 times in a drive-by. And now he's living in Skid Row. This is the best that our country can do for us. Like, shit, man. Richard was a fucking Navy SEAL in Vietnam. And he's down here with degenerative nerve disease? Like, Jesus Christ. So anyways, I'm down there trying to get out of this fucking hellhole. saving up my money, living at this fucking place. There's fucking shootings. There's fucking all types of mayhem going on and all around us. And then the Rona hits. And Gavin Newsom, that son of a bitch in Sacramento, decided that we were going to shut down the entire state and go into complete lockdown for 3 weeks. 3 weeks to flatten the curve. I said, this sucks, but fair enough. 3 weeks to flatten the curve. All right, cool. I get it. 3 fucking months later, and we're still in lockdown, and some retarded cop in Minnesota decides to fucking kneel on the neck of a guy he was apprehended. Man, shit, this has nothing to do with... So why am I here in fucking Venice Beach, California, having to evacuate all of the fucking merchandise out of our shop and board up the windows because a mob of mostly peaceful protesters are charging down the avenue at this fucking event, at our fucking shop? And a couple days later, they're still marching by and marching by and marching by. And our security guard, granted, you should have shut the... No, you know what? Speak your goddamn mind, but maybe not at work, right? No justice, no peace, he says. The cop's in jail, you're getting justice. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. The mob turns. I swear to fucking Christ, you wouldn't believe it. A whole group of 30 middle-aged, white Santa Monica Karens pointing the fucking fingers at us like the goddamn girls of Salem. This man believes that there is justice in the United States of America. Shit, the cop's in jail. He's going on trial. I mean, shit, the fuck you want? Easy thing for you to say, wearing that bulletproof vest with the gun. Now I'm standing there in my fucking t-shirt and shorts, just a fucking stoner, right? Stoner veteran. But me being the North Idaho fucking don't give two fucks about anything rebel who joined the army and became an infantry sergeant, I have to be an asshole. So I look at her and say, well, I ain't got a gun and I ain't got a vest. And I'm saying the same exact shit. Bold of you to say from your mob of 30 fucking Karens, bitch. Man, within fucking 5 minutes, the phones are ringing off the goddamn hook. Your employees believe that there is justice in America. If your employee is not fired by the end of the day, the Rose Collective will lose our business. Now I'm sitting here like, well, fuck, if you don't believe in the First Amendment, I don't want your goddamn business anyway, but it isn't my business. So I said, I'll pass it along. Have a nice day. Commie. I did not pass it along. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Shawneen. I failed you. I digress. So, I watched these riots raging around LA. Days and days and days. And for the life of me, I can't figure out what any of this has to do with a retarded cop in Minnesota. Now, I get it. They're pissed off at the LAPD, and fair enough. LAPD are some fucking ass, all right? I'm walking home from work one day, and I just see, whoop, whoop. All of a sudden, I got like 4 fucking guns trained at me. I'm like, shit, man. I'm up against the wall. I'm like, shit. Case of mistaken identity, I guess I looked like so. I did a profile. All right, so I understand why that pisses people off, all right? I get it. But, like, shit, still. Why, what the fuck did goddamn the art gallery on 7th and Spring have to do with George Floyd that required to get smashed into and looted? I'm just saying, you know, right? This is family-owned business. Like, shit, man, maybe you can chill the fuck out a little bit, all right? So anyways, I get out of LA. I'm forced to come back home, damn near penniless, get a job, struggling to get by. And I'm seeing these politicians talk about how these riots that I have just lived through is about mostly peaceful protests. I don't know why you would say you must be a racist if you believe that these Black Lives Matter activists would do such a thing like riot. Oh, Jesus Christ, I'm seeing it with my own fucking eyes, bitch. You fucking goddamn Wicked Witch of the West. So anyways, these are the same politicians who, voted to send us to war. And never had a plan to finish that war. These are the same politicians who fucking built the system. It's beyond the politicians, the corporate elite too. Because all the big businesses got in on this whole fucking act. The media, Hollywood, the elites. These are the people who fucking collapsed the economy through their reckless greed. It's the same motherfuckers who fucking have been fucking us over year after year after year. The whole reason we're homeless growing up is because Dad has a warrant out for his arrest because he had a joint in his pocket back in the 80s in California. These are the motherfuckers responsible for that. These are the motherfuckers who have fucked everything. They're the worst, right? And you're gonna sit there with that smug look on your face and tell me, and this goes to both fucking parties, right, that you know what you're doing. Now, far be it from me to disagree, but you're sitting here bickering like little fucking children in the fucking goddamn Capitol while people's fucking lives are getting destroyed out here. Now, I'm not saying I condone what these people did in DC. Like, I think that was stupid, like, tactically and strategically. You don't riot. Riots just cause chaos and destruction, and they hurt all of the wrong people, and they don't help anything at all. But when you tell me something that I know to be bullshit, like men can have periods, or, well, I don't know, that conservatives just want to control women, or fucking that trickle-down economics works because rich people just care about you, right? Or that Hollywood cares. That's the other thing, is Hollywood, the entertainment industry just rubs me the wrong fucking way, all right? Like, look, what the fuck do you know, John Travolta, about being a fucking average American? What the fuck do you know, Tom Hanks, America's dad, about fucking, oh, I'm sorry, you played a bunch of regular guys once. Okay, right, well, I'm a fucking regular guy, you played in a bunch of war movies. I went to fucking war in the United States Army, all right? You played fucking Forrest Gump, all right? I've traveled the fucking world. I've traveled across the nation. I've been part of historical events, all right? And y'all don't know shit, but you're going to sit there and presume to lecture us from your mansions while you keep us locked up like we're in a fucking prison under house arrest, while our lives get destroyed, while whatever life savings we'd managed to acquire over the little bit of time that we had, that gets destroyed, while we lose our homes, while our children die in war, while I see my friends and neighbors getting consumed by the opioid epidemic and deaths of despair. And you're going to tell me that's my white privilege? And then you're going to tell me on the other side that fucking there's no issues in the inner city and that my friends just need to pull themselves up by the bootstraps all while you keep your fucking boot on those cities? I'm just saying, so that you can keep on getting those voters to keep voting for the nanny state while you sap a generation full of your fucking propaganda in the public school system, which sends them up to the college, which only teaches them one thing and one thing only, and that's to be pissed off and always vote for the people who are going to take away your student loan debt, which you foolishly acquired because, and it's not your fault, but because you were pumped and brainwashed from an early age that college was the only way to success and you needed it, when really you have the entire history and the entire record of all human wisdom and knowledge and advice in your pocket that you use to keep up with the Kardashians and watch cat videos and post on Snap and the Gram. No wonder this whole thing is falling to shit because you're all fucking retarded. Okay? How about study a little bit more of your history? Okay, because these are the same goddamn tactics that Hitler used to rise to power. These are the same tactics that the Russians used to rise to power. This is the same tactics that they used to bring about the French Revolution, rather. This is nothing new under the sun. Machiavelli talks about how scared, dumb people always vote for a big daddy government to take care of them. Fucking... And it's not even just our government, right? This is like a UN thing. Like, the Great Reset is a bunch of big billionaire... A class of billionaires, essentially, who own all the corporations and now gone international, and they're trying to take everything over. And that's the shit that we can see. We can see it happening. We can see our towns dying around us, and we can see the inner cities dying. And my friends are out in Iraq and Afghanistan dying, and all of us are getting shit on, but you keep preaching this story about the American dream, how we can just achieve it if we work hard and go through your schools and join your bureaucracy and vote for your Democratic politicians. And now you're offering us cash, right? You're basically offering the treasury for power. So you're selling the republic to so basically a bunch... Jesus Christ. We are so fucked. Basically, you're buying votes with the treasury and you're selling the republic to billionaires. They don't give a fuck about this country. They don't give a fuck about nation states. All they give a fuck about is competing with the other billionaires of the world. Now, Trump. Man, he was a massive orange dick. I'm not gonna lie, he was a prick.